All right, so this is the earnings breakdown for today and tomorrow morning. Again, everybody should know that any money that you put into these trades, again, we're having a Chewy breakout today. And I want to highlight something that I told you guys yesterday. What was the reasoning behind taking this trade? Consolidation, right? We look at the weekly tension. That tension is yet set to break, right? And so that was the goal, or rather, what it was attractive on the chart for me on Chewy. And then obviously risk to reward was pretty good. So I went ahead and I took my trade. We're looking for something similar. We may find something similar. That doesn't mean it's going to work. Earnings are always risky, and I typically go with a strangle straddle where I have purchased contracts on either side. It is possible for me to be biased. I was biased on this one to go up, as obviously you're just sitting on a floor here. But let's go ahead and start looking at after hours today, where we have CRM coming in. Let's take a look at the weekly, and we'll go ahead and full screen for just a moment. I think I did. Yeah, so I actually did this one, and as far as a weekly setup, I do like it. I do expect for the CRM to move on earnings. Now, my issue here is that, and what makes this maybe a good straddle, I'm not looking at the contracts right now, folks. And I'm going to just, the consolidation is down here. So we're going to stick with that. So right now you have a box in between the signal up, which would be obviously the floor is around, looks like 293 and 30250 is a cost basis. Then down below where we have 257.60. That, so again, when we look at Potter boxes, we say, well, if that breaks, then we go here, right? That'd be my first target, or one of the most likely targets, and a target that could be, or more than likely would be, in alignment with the potential downtrend or uptrend, as well as the fact that we do have, and we are maintaining a downtrend. So it is in the realm of possibilities that we see a drop down, even if it's to cost basis down here. So while it is tension, it's not necessarily my favorite setup, given that it doesn't have, like, it hasn't fallen really, really far, like with Chewy, right? Chewy is by the way, we're up still around hold on 1 second. Yeah, still over 1,000% on Chewy. But this one came down and was just sitting at the lows. Chewy, or CRM, is stuck in between two signals, and it's consolidated, so it can go either way, or it can stay in the way. So I think this is a pass for me. I haven't looked at the contracts on this one. If the straddle setup contract, yeah, see, the contracts are fucking jacked. I would probably, that's something where if you take that, it would be a hyper exaggeration, almost, where I'm like out at the 320s for the calls and then down at like the 230s, but that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, these are tangible price targets, right? 230 up there, 3+ up here, but I don't think that's worth my time. I might be eating my words later on. Let's take a look at AI. The consolidation in that is the most attractive. You decide what you want to do with that. So going into earnings, you do have a frick ton of empty space. It is possible to go up, and that is considered empty space in some regards. 24-hour time frame, same thing is true here. There's a lot of, hold on, where's my nope, there it is. Love that. Cool. So there is actually a relatively interesting setup on this one. This is the floor, right? And we have recovered that. We are opening earnings, so this actually doesn't make for a terrible setup. I think if AI is priced correctly, if you're driving your car right now, please make sure to mute your mic so it doesn't show up on the YouTube video. If anything is moving, feel free to interrupt me, or if I'm missing something here. So anyway, we're opening up on the floor. It's not necessarily super tension or anything like that. You do have empty space through here to the spotter box, which would then give way to the first green candle here. I'm saying 33.80. The contracts for $30, and it's kind of crazy. They do bleed out a little bit, but the $33 strike or even $30 strikes, these are not bad priced. I like these. Downside, we are hanging out on the floor. If that's lost, I'd be looking down much further to around $17. And I think the contracts would allow me to probably take advantage of 1850 as a potential target there. So 1850. Yeah, I would say right now 1850. And then either 30.5 or even 31s would be okay. But again, that's how I write in real life.
Hey, Garrett, are you looking at this week's expiration or next week's?
Probably this week's, man. This week's.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, not putting a lot of money into that one. All right, let's take a look at Path. Weekly. Okay. All right. Path is hanging out on the lows. Empty space up above. Right? So here's my floor. Peyton, I'm ordering food, so yeah. I gotta chill out though. No. Yeah, so this one's kind of an interesting setup. I actually don't hate it. Hmm. I think there is two targets here. One retest 2271. Looking beyond that, I mean, there is definitely some, and this is just box after box after box after box. Look at this box, box, kind of a box. So looks like fibs. Yeah, so I think that channel willing, and this is where you're at support, right? You're sitting on top of this box right here. I don't hate it to the upside for potential pop out, but if you break 1672, then obviously 1072. I'm not a big fan of the setup for some reason. I don't know why.
I bought $20 puts on Chewy just to hedge my remaining calls, and they're starting to move, so obviously Chewy's going down.
Yeah, I can't even see that right now. Chewy.
I'm waiting for it to break 2130, then I'll do the same.
Yeah, I got these for 17 cents, and they're now 22 cents. So
I have one contract, so I ain't gonna do nothing. You are punching, little 5-minute box, I think, right here, and then you got the top right there. It'd be 2089. Interesting. All right, keeping it moving here. OKTA. That's what most of these dudes put out every day. OKTA. That's actually a pretty interesting ass chart. It looks like this thing could take a fat dump. Big old dumpy. Very elegant wordage. Sheesh. Yeah, so I mean, this is a 24-hour chart. You have a cost basis underneath you, so 93.74 would be the first immediate target. I don't see. Let's see, is there an uptrend here? Or anything? Okay, that's it. That's all I see. And so, yeah, maybe you can take this 24-hour candle and it shoots up. And above that mark, you would have a floor here, 104.50, ceiling there. And perhaps you could move into the 107. So, interesting setup. Actually doesn't look bad for maybe playing it in the future. And I believe it does have some pretty serious empty space up above it. So ultimately, there's empty space up to 137. So I might take a look at that after earnings. All right. PSTG, I actually have played that before. Pure Storage. Can't remember when that was. All-time highs. So I'm not touching it. The only price target I could give is to the downside at 55.50. I'll do HBQ. So 33.21 would be the first price target. Second price target would be 37.22. The potential behind this trade, though, on the weekly does say that if you break that median, we go up to $50 per HP. It actually does not look bad at all. I need somebody to remind me on that one. Thank you. Yeah, so not a bad look at this one, or look on this one. Obviously, going into earnings, you're above that 32.82. You've got a floor right here at 34.35. We need to go and break above that. I actually like this for a potential long call in the future. Maybe not right now, but in the future, above that floor. Try and take it for a weekly punchback. Probably a 4 to 5 months, maybe even 6 months out on that. We'll talk about it when that alert goes off. All right, moving into next week. We've got, I don't want to do that. Whatever, CGC. Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right. Coles, KSS. KAS. Has anybody in the Potterbox workshop, when it says it's reached its max amount of views, what do you do in that situation? I know some people said, do you just reset, like click off? I don't know. If you guys have a solution on that one, maybe shoot me a DM. I know somebody said that happened to them previously. So. Whoa. Kohl's. Do people go to Kohl's anymore? I think that's a bit ridiculous, but what are you doing, hey? What?
Kids at Kohl's.
What are you looking at? Bro? Okay. So this actually has kind of a weird setup, and I mean, highlighting that there is still somewhat remaining empty space up there. It's kind of a lot, because if you look, it consolidates forever. I kind of like it, y'all. I actually kind of really like Kohl's. Let's take a look at Kohl's contracts. KISS or KSS. Nah. I would say 34.65 would be the first immediate target. Contracts are okay. $34 contracts have a weird bid ask. I would try to go for the obviously the latter. That's crazy. 6 cents it looks like the last fill. Might be able to hit 6 cents, I'm not sure. Weird. I would say 32 could be a decent strike because again, outside of the 29.83, it's straight up to 35 basically. And then beyond that, you know, we'd have a 41.50 target and then followed by a 46.25. But I mean, it is interesting looking, and what I can say is that through these periods where you chop, when it does extend outside of its range, right? It does quite well. So it may not happen all on earnings if you want to take a little bit of a longer position on this one. At the same time, if you want to take something to the downside, I would just be looking at $18. And I will literally grab $18 puts for like a cent. So not bad on that one. It's okay setup. All right, keep it moving. Foot Locker. Foot Locker. All right. There it is. So starting on the monthly, right? Looking for clarity. I'm waiting for Peyton to ask one of these days who's clarity. It's coming soon. um So other than that, on the monthly, there's really nothing else to add, but the weekly is where it gets a little bit more interesting. And now we are sitting with a box here, a floor here, a crazy looking range, but we have a, this is going to be a lower time frame downtrend. Valid. I don't like that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this setup altogether. Weekly wise, this is trash. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping, but I'm not a big fan of this. That's all I got, you know, is that you're sitting on the floor there. So Foot Locker's a pass from me. It's got to be clear. I'm not trying to force shit. Dollar General on the weekly is at a box underneath you. It is consolidated. This makes for a good prerequisite. You also have a straightforward target on the weekly of 151.32. And I think that's your target for Dollar General. So if that sounds right to you, contracts look good to you, that's where I would be targeting on Dollar General. And then the downside, probably around 132.50. I've never really heard of that one. I mean, I'll take a look at it, but I'm not a Max M. Solar shit's been going crazy though. All right, so weekly time frame. Okay, so we'll go ahead and say that 405 is an agreeable floor, and got a box here. Empty space up to the high. Hey, don't want to go to the beach, dude. Yeah. I do. I don't know. Maybe throw some shekels at this one, but you already wicked off of that floor. This shit doesn't look that great to me until we actually trigger through 448. And I mean, at that point, if I miss all of that on earnings, it's just meant to be. Um, keep that one on watch though. I will set an alert on that. Hmm. Tomorrow. What time is it in the Philippines right now? Fuck. Okay. What time do I want her to start working tomorrow? Yeah. Really? Damn. Um. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I am. I feel a little nervous saying it a lot to you, but I'm pretty excited. All right, I gotta finish this up because it's on YouTube. Best Buy is okay. I'm not a big fan of that setup. I mean, it's wide range. So you have a target at 64, and you have a target at 90. Eventually, this may break out of that range, and you could see. I mean, Best Buy's time, I guess, will come back around soon. Uh, HAR or HAHRL, Hormel Foods. You know, them motherfuckers are cutting corners. Empty space. They use sodium nitrate in their meat. Yeah. My meat. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. There's some preservative in them too, right? To keep them from spoiling. Yeah, right. Lately, mine's been working pretty hard too. I Trust me, I have never been a drinker. This is probably the most as an adult that I mean, I used to when I did when I did yeah, he definitely he's definitely to blame here. All right. What's up? Yeah. Burlington looks crazy. I don't know why, but Sim Sam, can you inform me on where that's at? Because I would love to. I'd love to eat that. I heard that. Heard it. Anyway, Hormel or Burlington, excuse me. You got empty again, wide range. So 118 if shit hits the wall. I don't know anybody going to Burlington, but whatever. That's not analysis. You bounce off a cost basis. You got empty space above you. You have immediate 232 price target, and then the target outside of that would be 263.40. So that one inconclusive. Just giving out price targets here. All right, Birkenstocks. Who's got Birkenstocks on right now? I think if I have her working earlier, that will work with her better. Yeah. Yes. Ooh, brother. Ooh. Chadwick. Chadwick. $52 Birkenstock. $52 on Birkenstock. Looks like the target up above us on that one. I don't even see a target of the downside other than where you're at now. Either that one doesn't move at all. I would assume that's probably it. BBW. What about a BBL? Dude. I love this shit. It's just like, yeah, Build-A-Bear Workshop's moving into all-time highs now, because that makes sense. I mean, is that still a thing? I think I did it once for Ellie, and it was like, yeah, I don't know. I say cost basis on the weekly. And that's gonna be 33.89. Yeah, perfect confluential target. So all right, and that last one, Gap. I actually do like Gap. I actually like Gap. On the weekly, it looks crazy. Wrong one. Yeah, so on the weekly, it looks wild. You're bouncing off of this. You have a potential range right here, right? And you are one, two, one, two, bounce, empty fucking space until you get to that mark right there, and that's $27. So yeah, I do think that Gap is probably worth looking at. Let's do. Hey, I gotta be up early tomorrow in the morning. Yeah, I'd rather work with them earlier so that way it's like at least nighttime, like late night. They apparently that's also work time too as well. So all right. I think that is about it. Yeah, so if you guys are watching this later on YouTube, again, please be responsible. I do like a couple of the highlights there. You know, the Gap looks pretty good. Um, uh, we CRM looked okay. Uh, Coles looked okay again. A lot of range on that one. Actually, yeah, Coles didn't look bad. Best Buy was not really great. Hormel, not amazing. So none of these are like extremely consolidated, sitting on a floor, which is exactly what Chewy was. So, oh, oh yeah, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and end that. Thanks for watching, guys.